Happy Waggin Tails Wednesday. Got some great stories for you. We're going to talk about a company that has Tennessee barn doors. It's the name of the company, actually. My friend Lance Droz works for that company and turned me on to it. And the more I learn about them, the more I love them. They're a local company making those very cool barn doors. And I didn't realize there were some tips to buying a new door for your home, and we've got that coming up. But we also have a daily yummy. We're going to make some mason jar ice cream. It's a real fun thing that you can do with your kids. Might be a lot of fun to do. Our daily giggle brought to us by 50Forward. But let's get started with those 5 tips to get our wonderful Tennessee barn doors.
Hey, Steve here, Tennessee Barn Doors. Talk about some of the top 5 things you want to think about when buying a door. First off, barn doors hang on 2 rollers. It's not a lot different than just hanging like a shower curtain. It just hangs there. Unlike doors that have hinges and a latch, door stop and frame helps contain the door. The barn door is just hanging. What's this mean? It means that that door has a possibility of warping. Ours don't. Let me show you what we do. So what makes us confident our doors don't warp? It's the center of our frame material. This is rotated grains laminated together of wood. The rotated grains prevent warpage. On either surface, there's a full 3/16 of material, real wood, laminated, and that gives the beauty of the door, and yet this interior gives the good stability of the door. This is our groove that goes in the bottom of the door. We insert a plastic track, runs nice and quiet and smooth. Item number 2, barn door. This is not a rustic barn door. We classify this in our modern series. It doesn't have to be a rustic door. It can be modern, could include glass, almost anything you want. Here is a glass upper door with 8 panes, or a full glass door on a dentist office. This is a mirror door with circles, also metal inserts on the back of the door. And here is our simple rustic door. Let's talk about measuring for a door. We're going to replace this laundry room door here, get a little space back, and make this entranceway a lot prettier. We always size the doors a little bit wider than the trim. Reason being is often trim is not completely level. As a result, if the door is not wider than the trim, the final look will not be that great. So this doorway is 42 inches outside of trim to outside of trim. We'll make the door 43, a little bit wider than the doorway. The height from the floor to the top of this trim is 101. So we'll make the door 102. The head space above the doorway is a good 3 feet, not a problem at all for the hardware to fit in that area. The roll of this door will be to the right. There's about 5 feet of wall space there and nothing bothering it. The mirror and the table will have to move, but other than that, this should be a straightforward install. Tip number 4, hardware supplier. We've been using the same hardware supplier for 5 years because it works. It's quiet, rolls smooth, you can hear no noise at all. Key is the bearings inside of the wheels. Sure, we could buy a container from China and dump it on the internet like others. We won't do that. We stay with what's tested and true. So here's tip number 5. There is no track on the floor to trip over. There's a small groove in the bottom of the door, and if you look very closely, there's a little brown piece that keeps the door from moving out. Rolls nice and smooth and quiet, very quiet. Anti-jumps are the last important part. They prevent the door from falling off. If someone was to lift up strongly on the handle, it could fall off, but not with these anti-jumps.
hockey in Music City just hits different. It's one big honky-tonk party. It's the sea of gold in the crowd. The goals, the saves, the celebrations. It's an experience like no other. Don't miss a minute of the action this season. Visit NashvillePredators.com/tickets to get your seats today. That's NashvillePredators.com/tickets. And we'll see you at Bridgestone Arena.
Getting ready for Bridgestone Arena, the Predators are always an exciting thing to see. It's time to make some mason jar ice cream. I love recipes that you can bring your kids into the kitchen and make something wonderful.
Start with your heavy whipping cream. Come behind that with your little bit of sugar. Ooh yeah. Now hit it with a little bit of vanilla extract, followed by some salt. Y'all gonna what? You gotta season it too? Yeah, it's like chicken. How about colored chicken, okay? But it's pink, okay? Now we seal this up. Give this a little shaking. Ooh, baby. So you gotta keep shaking until you get it firm, okay? Once you know it's firm, once you stop hearing that shake, you know it's time. Guys, you notice it's not making noise anymore?
That means it's done?
Yeah. Watch this. Oh, freezer time, freezer time. Oh boy, out of the freezer now. Ah, my God. Oh Lord, this hot ice cream. Okay. It's hard, guys, okay? Damn delicious. It does taste good.
Walmart Supply Chain is hiring in Lebanon. Earn up to $22.25 an hour when you join our new fulfillment center. Enjoy competitive pay and premium perks, including 100% paid college tuition, 401k match, flexible schedules, a free Walmart Plus membership that includes discounts, and free Paramount Plus, paid time off, and so much more. Fulfilling work starts right here. Text JOIN to 240-240. That's JOIN 240-240 to apply now. A lot of people looking for jobs these days, and there are plenty of them to be had. It's time for our Giggle of the Day, brought to you by 50Forward. It's a Nashville area nonprofit, and it serves older adults, and they're a proud partner with an organization called All of Us. It's a research program from the National Institute of Health. You can learn how you can become one in a million with All of Us. Visiting their website, you can go to joinallofus.org/50Forward. And the Daily Giggle today, well, let's just say we found something that is a little bit on the Waggin Tails Wednesday wavelength. Is that okay? Have you ever heard a frog scream? Now, I know you hear a frog croak, but there were a family of cats, and now giant frogs are a new pet sensation. It's like the giant snails, which are just don't do that. Just don't. Invasive species, but the giant frogs are very popular these days. Not to me, but to some people, but certainly not to these cats. Kind of makes you want one, right? Not. Oh, you still have time to get to Zoolumination. Okay, the holidays may have passed, but it's certainly time for romance.
This holiday season, the largest lantern event in the country returns to Nashville Zoo. After sunset, come see more than 1,000 Chinese lanterns. All new designs including mythical beasts, a fantastical North Pole village, even a dragon soaring over your head. Welcome back to Zoolumination at Nashville Zoo. Bigger, brighter, and better than ever.
My friend Pamela Furr was at the opening last night. She and Mrs. Del Giorno, Michael Del Giorno's wife, were guests at TPAC for the opening of Les Miserables, the brand new season at TPAC. And what a season it's going to be.
The best of Broadway returns. Hadestown, 6. Disney's Aladdin, Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird, Ain't Too Proud. Pretty Woman, 1776, and the return of Hamilton. 7 Nashville premieres, 1 unforgettable Broadway season. HCA Healthcare, TriStar Health, Broadway at TPAC.
The Sandhill Cranes. We had a story about a gentleman who was hunting Sandhill Cranes. There is the Sandhill Crane Festival coming up. And I thought I would share a little bit about the Sandhill Crane and the way TWRA is not just controlling the population and working with that, keeping them healthy and keeping the numbers, the right numbers. They're counting them and they're banding them. Here's the story.
We are at the Hiawassee Refuge in both Ray and Meigs County, and we've been out looking at the bird life here, which is pretty extraordinary. Beginning with the Sandhill Cranes that are here, and we saw bald eagles, we saw some American white pelicans. This is a wildlife refuge area, so they grew crops here for many years, mostly corn, to attract geese and other waterfowl. Sandhill cranes in particular, in their migration route, they really like corn. So they were stopping by here to refuel on their way south. Many of them go down to Florida for the winter. And then they came here and started seeing the corn and had protection here. And so many of them started spending the winter months. Right now we have as many as, usually it's between maybe from 10 to 20,000 Sandhill cranes spend a winter in this area right now. They have an incredibly bugle call or trumpeting call that's very distinctive. But many times you'll hear them as they migrate or fly over, you'll hear that bugling call. It's very distinctive. It's a very primordial sound. It's a beautiful sound. There aren't many places in the country you can see this many Sandhill cranes. They usually follow a pretty narrow pathway down to Florida. They are big, they're dynamic, they're really interesting. I mean, when people go bird watching, so much of the time the birds are tiny or they're hard to identify. There's no doubt about a Sandhill crane. They're a large bird you can easily see. They're in large numbers and their sounds are cool. So they kind of draw people. They're very photogenic too. Very pleasing to the average person to see and easy to see. One good thing about the Hiawassee area is there's just so much biomass of birds here with all the obvious cranes and great blue herons that breed in the area and the white pelicans and so on. 123, 125 years ago, people once a year were doing what they called a side hunt, which was a time when people go out and shoot every bird they could find. So they're out killing birds. And somebody said, hey, why don't we, instead of killing them, why don't we start counting them? So that's how the Christmas count started. The time period between December 14th and January 5th, many areas had their own count. So Chattanooga has its own Christmas bird count on December 17th. Basically, it's a 15-mile diameter circle, and it's divided up into pie segments or pie pieces, and there's leaders and groups that go out in all those different areas and look for and count every bird they can find. The data is used by scientists and researchers, so it's a really good way to collect data. People enjoy it too. It's fun to get out and look for birds and what we call citizen science. That is somebody who's just a novice at bird watching can really help science by gathering that data. Not everybody can get out and do the actual counting, but it's a really good day for you just to appreciate birds. Get out and see the birds in your backyard. Go out and come to the refuge on those days and just appreciate the bird life we have in Southeast Tennessee. It's very exceptional.
There's a festival for the Sandhill Cranes brought to us by TWRA, the Sandhill Crane Festival. If you want to get information, the festival is January 14th and 15th. You can go to tn.gov/TWRA/wildlife/bird. You can see that website right there. And in Chattanooga at the Tennessee Aquarium, they also have something very cool going on. At the IMAX, there at the aquarium, they have the Wings Over Water 3D. And that is a movie about all of these beautiful winged creatures here in our Tennessee. And it's just absolutely beautiful. The Sandhill Cranes are wonderful. So if you'd like to find out more, check out what TWRA is doing to protect those species. Very, very cool. Little shout out today. Let's see who we've got. Oh my gosh, a lot of people watching today. Okay. Let's go over here to Corinne from Buffalo is here, and Leslie is here today. Linda from Arkansas. Good morning. Good morning. By the way, nominations are beginning for the Arkansas Music Awards. People like Aaron Enderlin and Lance Carpenter, my friend Sarah Morgan. You guys can nominate folks now. Let's see. Okay. Corinne's got great news. Great news. Number 3 is out of the hospital. God is good. God is. Yes. Amen. Amen. Linda says, I'm in need of a barn door, but have to wait a bit. Well, if you do, Tennessee Barn Doors is a good company. They certainly are doing some really good stuff. Lisa Richard is joining us this morning. Hello, hello. Elizabeth is with us. I love it. I love it. I know, Linda, you're going to be making some of that mason jar ice cream, aren't you? Doing frozen yogurt in the ice cream maker. That's a pretty good thing to do, even this time of year. Well, Lisa, the cool thing, if you missed the recipe, you can go back and watch because it's up. And Gina is with us today. A lot of people loving the daily funny, the daily giggle. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you so much. See, I love the Tennessee White Pelicans. Pelicans are my favorite. Oh, you guys. Good morning, Carrie Miskey. Man, look. A lot of people jumping in there about Aaron. Aaron Enderlin is amazing. Played the Opry several times, and I love it. She is fantastic. I do not have the link to nominate people today, but I promise you, I will get it for you. Oh, here we go. ArkansasMusic.org. Elizabeth, you are on it. Well, you guys, it is time for our daily motivation. And today we've got a really neat story. The daily motivation involves why 50Forward. They're our spotlight group today. And I know you're going to love this reason for 50Forward.
Since April of last year, 50Forward has been caring for my mom. It gives her a reason to pay attention to the date. It gives her a reason to get dressed in the morning. It gives her a reason to pay attention because you won't win at bingo if you don't pay attention. It gives her a social circle with her tribe. It gives her a sense of independence and a chance to be Janet and not just mom or grandma. So what does Adult Day Services do for me? It makes my mom happy. That makes me happy. It helps my mom live her very best life. I know she's cared for, she's engaged, she's exercised, she's challenged, she is living in the moment. I'm back to working in the office full-time with my job and my part-time retail job. I couldn't do that without ADS. 3 days a week, I get to be just Heather. 5 days a week, she gets to be just Jane.
What a story, right? When you have an elderly parent and you're trying to work and trying to do what you do, but at the same time, they're still people and they still have things they love to do and they get to be just them and you get to be just you. 50forward.org is a place where you can find, they're all over. That was the Knoll Center that story came from. It motivates us. If you are looking for a community that's wonderful, 50Forward is a place to check out. There's a great one in Donaldson too. There's a great one in Bordeaux. They're all over Middle Tennessee. So 50forward.org or 50forwardtn.org. And you can get information and find out more. It's time for our Waggin Tales Wednesday Spotlight, and we're going to the Elephant Sanctuary in Hohenwald. I grew up in Louisiana with the Louisiana Purchase Gardens and Zoo. When I was a little girl, I met an elephant named Shirley, who had quite the story. Shirley was very old and it was time for her. Her handler had been with her many, many years. The story starts with her handler from Louisiana who made sure that she came to Hohenwald to get her resting place, her green pastures, her place to be.
wanted to see Shirley. The sanctuary and all is nice. This is a tour I never forget. But Shirley just made my day because this is one of the reasons I came down. If I could just see that Shirley. When I looked at the sanctuary when I first came down with Shirley, I saw that this place would give us more of an opportunity to live to see 70, even though that wasn't in my mind. But I could see where she'd be better cared for. But I guess I never actually dreamed that after working with her for 20-some years, that 20 more years later, Shirley's still here, look like she's doing well. I wish you have many, many, many birthdays. I'm hoping that you have many birthdays. And from the way she looks right now, I believe she's going to.
Shirley had a leg deformity from an accident earlier in her life. She's got quite the story. And I hope that you go to the Elephant Sanctuary's website, elephants.com, or the Elephant Sanctuary. Just do a quick Google and you can see more of her story there. She was 70 years old and that gentleman brought her to the sanctuary. Now, here's another part of the story is I knew when they moved her to the sanctuary many years ago, I lived in Donaldson. And I thought, wow, they're bringing her to Tennessee. I wonder if I'll get to see her, because once they get to the sanctuary, you don't get to go out and see them. You don't get to go see the elephants except by video camera. So I thought, I wonder if I'll get to see her. This is Shirley. I grew up with Shirley. This is such a great story. And I was stopping by the Mapco to get some gas, and I was walking in and I go, I smell an elephant. I walked behind the building, or beside the building, and there was a great big tractor trailer. And that very gentleman right there was out with a water hose with Shirley, feeding her and washing her off so she'd be nice and cool on the rest of her drive to Hohenwald. Can you believe that? So I got to see Shirley. She put her little trunk out, and it was so cool. Well, she was 70 years old. He was able to make it back for her birthday. Now, Shirley is not with us any longer, and the Elephant Sanctuary remembers her this way. And I thought, what a beautiful life to, if you read her whole story, and to end at the Elephant Sanctuary. Oh my goodness, what a life she got to have for many, many years at the Elephant Sanctuary.
My favorite Shirley memory is one day it was raining and I went out to check on Shirley, and Tara and Shirley were at the pond and Shirley was swimming, and I just sat there and watched her for a while, and then I watched her get out of the pond by using the steepest, muddiest trail she could possibly find. And I think in that moment I really realized that she doesn't let anything hold her back or keep her from doing the things that she wanted to do. So that's one of her most admirable qualities.
Seeing an elephant like Shirley, who's been through so much, put that trust in you, it means a lot.
I think how resilient she is. No matter what she's gone through, she overcomes things and she doesn't let them slow her down or hold her back from anything.
I have a lot of favorite Shirley memories, but I think one of my favorites was a day that we had gone down to do some training with her and Tara down by the lake. And when we got down there, they both got super excited and started running around, and Tara was making her barking noises and Shirley was trumpeting, and it was just great to see them so energetic and playful and just interacting with each other in such a social manner.
What I admire most about Shirley is definitely her strong will, her determination, her strength. She can do anything she sets her mind to, and she knows what she wants and she does it. She's a inspiring elephant.
I don't think that there is one word that could possibly capture Shirley. I don't think that there is any string of words that could capture Shirley. But I would say magnificent would be a good word for her.
Ooh, that one got me. Shirley was a special elephant, like my childhood elephant. I mean, she was in a circus and she was rescued with another very young elephant who ended up coming to the sanctuary after they'd been separated for over 20 years. And the minute that Shirley pulled up and they let her out on into the pasture, she spotted this young elephant that was rescued separately from her, from a different place, different life. They recognized each other from that circus boat and they ran together. And you'll see their story by going to the Elephant Sanctuary's website. And if you want to find a place to give great donations to the Elephant Sanctuary is fantastic. Good morning to Perry. I know. I mean, I'm just squalling, but what a day. What a day. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Be safe, be kind. Remember, most of all, you are loved. God bless you.
We are home. We are family. We are things to do and place to see. Mom and pops, local grown, small business Saturdays. We are Main Street, Main Street, Main Street. We are your Main